Stop! You violated the law! What's going on, guys? This is Crowsin, and welcome to the Oblivion Guard build. So I'm sure you liked that little intro clip there, but I had to do a tribute to Oblivion since this is definitely my top 3 games of all time, and it was definitely my favorite from the Elder Scrolls series, which I'm sure not a lot of people would agree with me. They'd say like Skyrim was their favorite either because of better graphics or something like that, but I don't judge a game by its graphics, and I definitely think Oblivion was just on a whole other level as far as the quest and just the atmosphere and everything else. But don't get me wrong, Skyrim was an amazing game. It's definitely in my top 10 games, but it just doesn't compete on Oblivion's level. But I kept the build layout very simple with this one as far as the stats. It's very similar to my Mass Pirate build. I didn't have to worry too much about making some kind of versatile stat line. I just focused more on getting the armor and the weapons and just focusing more on looking like an Imperial Guard in this game. So I kind of went for like some silver steelish looking armor. Obviously the Northern Helm is essential since that's the way guards wore their helmet. And then I just went with the long sword, and then I used a little bit of archery since some guards did have bows on them. So I used a composite bow, and I kept it very simple. So let's get into the stats so you guys can see everything else. So here in the stat menu at Soul Level 120, like I said, I kept it very similar to the pirate build. The only thing I changed was I lowered Vigor to 39, and I upped Endurance to the max cap at 40. Now if you do choose the Warrior, you're going to have 2 extra points than you see here, so you can actually just put those into Vigor anyways. That way you'd have 41 Vigor, 40 Endurance, and 40 Strength and Dex, since we only need 14 Vitality with this build, so just keep that in mind if you do want to choose the Warrior. Now for my equipment, I just went with the Refined Longsword, the Composite Bow, and then the Stone Parma. And then for my gear, I went with the Northern Helm, the Knight Armor, the Leather Gauntlets, and the Iron Leggings. And if you take a look, this is basically how my dude looks. In my opinion, it does look like an Oblivion Guard. Of course, I think that's mainly because of the helmet, since they did have similar helmets to this Northern Helm. But for my rings, I went with the Life Ring, the Chloranthy Ring, the Ring of Favor, and the Hawk Ring, which is different than my Pirate, which I used the Hornet Ring in that one. So we're using the Hawk Ring since we are using bows with this, and there's really nothing else I can really put in here that's really going to benefit me entirely. So yeah, I didn't want to use anything like parries or anything with this build, so that's kind of why I just went with the Hawk Ring. But for everything else you need to know, I also used the Green Blossom, and I used a Charcoal Pine Bundle, something that we can just get out a buff short and quick. And I just thought it was better than leveling up spells or leveling up stats in order to get some kind of spell buffs. But that's really it, guys. I love that game a lot, and I had to do a tribute to it, and it's definitely one of the games I would love to do a Let's Play of on my channel at some point. So yeah, enjoy the rest of the video. Peace.